Yes, sir, we're officially back at it. This is Boog Nice coming at you with the ToysRus exclusive Marvel Legends series Spider-Man and Mary Jane Watson 2-pack review. Let's do it.
This ain't for no scalper. You a scalper? Then fuck out shit. This one's for them real collectors. That's army building and posing figures. Marvel Legends, imports, mini matey, I'm fucking with them. Hype beast, we know about you. Stay buying figs, don't know about it.
Quick look at the artwork on the left side of the box. You can see a picture of Spider-Man unmasked. And on the right side, we have the beautiful Mary Jane Watson. Alright, so it's been a little minute. I took like 2 weeks off. I haven't posted anything. I haven't done anything as far as feeding the channel. But feels good to be back on the floor playing with my toys. But taking a close look at the Spider-Man and Mary Jane Watson 2-pack. And this is definitely a must own. I like this. I like the way both figures came out for the most part. Not too many surprises here with the Spider-Man. It's pretty much the same mold that we've been getting, the Pizza Parker or Pizza Spider-Man mold. They did actually go the distance and give you all the extra hands and everything, and you've got the unmasked, the fully unmasked Peter Parker head. So we'll get into that. We'll look at Spider-Man first and then take a closer look at Mary Jane Watson. So as you can see, Spider-Man comes with a set of fists. And he's got a set of his whipping hands. And then a set of hands that are open with the fingers spread. When he's in the package, he actually has his fully unmasked head on the body and a set of mismatching hands. I think it was the fist and one of the whipping hands, if I'm not mistaken. But just taking a close look here at his fully masked head, and you can see that this costume design for Spider-Man is not the classic costume that we know and love. It's very similar to that of the classic costume, but slightly different. This is the costume that he's rocking right now in the comic books, if I'm not mistaken. This is after the events of Secret Wars, and after the events of everything that happened with Superior Spider-Man and a couple of different Spider-Mans being left over after Spider-Verse and the main universe. And I believe Spider-Man is running the company that Doc Ock set up when he was parading around as Spider-Man, and he's pretty much directing all of the other Spider-Men that are left over in this universe. I believe that's what it is. I'm not up to date on my Spider-Man books. I'm going to need Michael Wisman to get in the comments below and school us all. But that's the deal. So this costume is a little different. You can see there's some, I'm not sure if the costume actually glows. I believe it does. I think it glows in the chest area and the eye area. So you can see it's painted to kind of simulate the glow. And all of the line work and everything looks pretty good. You can see the spider emblem back there, a little peg hole in the back, peg hole in the feet. So, you know, it's not too different from the classic costume where it looks nuts, but it does give some people an opportunity to pick up pretty much a Pizza Spider-Man, a current Pizza Spider-Man. But yeah, the head sculpt looks pretty good. No real issues here. And then finally, we got a fully unmasked Peter Parker head, and I think this looks pretty good. I think the paint work on this particular one that I picked up looks good. I don't really see too many issues. I did see a few of them. Shout out to my man Danny LeBlanc, who actually picked this up for me. But I did get to see a few of them, and for the most part, they all looked pretty good. I think I only saw one that looked a little wonky as far as the paint is concerned. But you know, it's not like crazy detailed, but it does look good. And just taking a quick look at him side by side with Pizza Spider-Man, you can see some slight variations in the costume. Like I said, for the most part, the design is pretty similar. Obviously some different hues of blue here. The regular Pizza Spider-Man has a little darker shade of blue. You can see that the spider emblem is a little smaller on that costume as well, whereas this one's a little larger. It's a little more exaggerated. And on the new Spider-Man here, the spider emblem on the back is smaller than that of Pizza Spider-Man. But yeah, you can see the colors here. Let's swap and see if this unmasked head will go on Pizza Spidey's body. So yes, that does work. This is the 2-pack Spider-Man head on the Pizza Spidey body. So if you were able to grab a Pizza Spider-Man, you'll be delighted to see that you can have a fully unmasked Peter Parker on that body now. And the half masked head from the Pizza Spidey does fit on the 2-pack Spider-Man body, but it doesn't really match up. Not to mention that the eyes are not the same. It's not the matching mask that goes with this costume, so I don't know why you would necessarily want to do that. And I feel like the head is not really sitting on the neck as well as it could be. And yes, the unmasked head will work on the Marvel Legends suited body. This is the Chameleon body here, although when you pop the head fully onto the neck peg, it looks a little funny. I don't like the way it looks. I don't like the way the head is sitting on this particular body. So if you half it on, it'll definitely look a little better. So let me show you that real quick. There you go, and that does look a lot better, but obviously it'll be a little gappage on the back. But from the front, I think that looks very good for a nice, relaxed Peter Parker in street clothes. And I'm sorry, I said that previous body was the Chameleon body, but that was actually the Bruce Banner body. This is the Chameleon body, and the head will pop on here too. And I think when it's fully popped on this peg, it looks much better than the previous body, but it could still use a little more neck room, so I might actually... when I photograph this one, I'll probably kind of half it on this body too, but the head does fit on there. And there it is, kind of halved on there. And then there he is on the Coulson body, which has the smallest peg, so it doesn't actually even fully pop on there, and that does not look right. His neck is totally missing. On this head, you don't really have the option of kind of halving it on there because the peg is small. And real quick, taking a look at the differences between the hands. On the left, you can see the hand that belongs to the new 2-pack version, and this is the hand from the original Pizza Spidey. So you can see that the pegs are slightly different, so they do not swap out between the two. You can see these two little circular rivets on the Pizza Spidey hand. You can see the paint is slightly different as well. And even a bit more playability here. These are the Iron Fist hands. While they don't really snap in there, they will hold the position. You can kind of finagle it and mess around with them. Now, the skin tones don't absolutely match, but I mean, whose skin tone on their hands matches their face? I think it'll still work if you finesse it the right way in a shot and really play with the lighting. But yeah, that definitely gives you more options for setting up displays and stuff like that, and some different ideas for having Spider-Man getting dressed or undressed or whatever it may be. And the movie Doctor Strange hands, these are from the Dormammu Build-A-Figure Wave, the actual MCU movie Doctor Strange hands. And these are a little small, but they actually pop into the wrist more securely. So they're actually in there. They're not going to fall out in any way, but they are a little small, and the skin tone doesn't absolutely match, but again, it can be finagled. Either way, a lot of options with Spider-Man. I will go over the articulation real quick, although you should know this body by now. It is a great range of motion for Spider-Man. The head will look down pretty far. It'll look up pretty far, turn left and right, do a full 360. It'll pivot. You get a very nice range of motion with the head and neck. The shoulders are on a ball joint as well as a butterfly joint, so they'll come in and out and go up pretty far, do a full 360. You get rotation at the upper bicep, double jointed elbow, rotation at the wrist, and a hinge. Pretty decent ab crunch going forward and back. You get rotation at the waist, T-joint at the hip. The legs will come up really far. You get rotation at the upper thigh. You get a double jointed knee. Unfortunately, no rotation here, but you do get a nice deep ankle pivot and a hinge on both feet. So definitely a good range of motion for Spider-Man. No issues there as far as articulation. Let's look at Mary Jane. I'm not really sure yet, but Mary Jane may be the breakout star in this 2-pack. This is the first time that we've gotten a female civilian figure in Marvel Legends. This is the first Mary Jane Watson figure. You know, to have a figure in plain clothes and to be on the brink of possibly building up some norms and some regular people to fill up displays is something that has been highly sought after for collectors for quite some time. So I'm really gotta salute Hasbro for finally doing this, and I think they did a pretty damn good job on Mary Jane here. Now I want to say this is mostly a new mold for Mary Jane Watson. I'll get some size comparisons going shortly, but I do believe that this is a new mold here. I don't think she is as small as one of the smallest females, or I think she falls somewhere in between. Just looking at the body, I can see where this thigh cut is. I don't think it's like that on any other figures. I wanted to say that it was the same mold as silk. So I do think they did a pretty nice job on the face. It looks clean. The hair looks pretty good. You know, she's a natural redhead. So I like that they added the freckles and everything on her face. And it's pretty clean paintwork for Hasbro. It's definitely not bad at all. The hair is definitely a soft, pliable material, so it's not going to really hinder the articulation in any way. Not too many issues with paint. I can see a couple of little paint imperfections here. You can see a little chip in there on her breast, and a little bit of bleeding here on the ankles. I'm not a big fan of how this cut looks here, but she's got the cheap Bronx Chinese slippers on. So Mary Jane is looking kind of ratchet here, but everything looks pretty good. You can see the pockets on the on her pants. You can see that the pants are kind of like two-toned here, so that looks pretty nice. The skin tone is decent. Definitely no issues with taking the head off. Obviously, people want to try to swap different heads on this body, and we'll get into that momentarily. But you can see how that ball peg looks, and like I said, it doesn't really hinder the articulation as far as looking very far down. It'll still actually look up a decent amount, although it is hindered by her hair coming down the small of her back here, but the head will turn left and right, do a little pivot. It could do a full 360, no issues there. Shoulders are on the ball joint. They're going to come up pretty far. You can do a full 360. There is no upper bicep cut. You get not even really 90 degrees at the elbow, but it will rotate on that joint there. You get a hinge and a swivel on the wrist. You get upper torso rotation here right below her breast line, and it'll rotate and turn left and right. And that's pretty much it. There is no cut at the waist. That would have been nice if she turned at the waist, but I don't know that it's necessarily needed. That might have broken up the scope a bit too much. A little T-joint at the hips here, or at the pelvis, and the legs will come up just that far. Splits look like that, and you do get a upper thigh swivel. That is, like I said, it's I've noticed that it's up a little higher than it is on some of the other female figures, maybe because her legs are smaller. It's not really she's not really stacked like some of the other females, but you get a double jointed knee, and I already see that there might be a little issue here with the knee, so be careful with that. But there is a double joint there, and you get a hinge on the foot, and you get a pivot on the foot. And one thing that I really like about the feet is that they gave her flat shoes, no heels here. There is absolutely no issue with her standing up, and definitely not bad here overall on this figure. I guess we don't really need Mary Jane to be super highly articulated. But quick size comparisons: you have the Marvel Legends Juggernaut Build-A-Figure Wave Kitty Pryde on the left, and the Marvel Legends Sandman Build-A-Figure Wave Miss Marvel on the right. And I really hate that this Kitty Pryde came out so big, came out so tall. Kitty Pryde probably should have been the size that Mary Jane Watson is, but you can see here that Mary Jane Watson's body does not match up with either of these figures, so that is making me that's more evidence to suggest that this is a new mold. And then there she is next to the Titus Build-A-Figure Wave Angela figure on the left, and the Avengers 3-pack Miss Marvel on the right. And obviously Angela is a huge bitch, so that's not the same body mold. And Miss Marvel here is pretty stacked as well, and that is not the same mold. And finally, here she is next to Silk, which is the closest I can find as far as comparative body molds. But like I said, you can see the cut on the thighs here are a little different, and Mary Jane may borrow some parts from Silk. I'm not 100% sure about that. They are just about the same height, so these two may actually be very similar or borrow some of the same parts. It's just that the thighs are a little different as far as the way they are connected to the pelvis and where the cut is here. And then there she is next to the Spider-Man from the same pack on in this wave. So I'm not sure what how tall Mary Jane is. She's supposed to be like a supermodel, so I guess she's a tall chick, right? So I guess Spider-Man shouldn't be too much taller than her, but Every time I say that I think that the height is right on some of these figures, somebody comes in the comments and say, no, you're wrong. So we'll see. Look at that. Being that she is closest in size to the silk mold, the silk head does fit on this body perfectly, and that looks very nice. So you can get powered down, relaxed silk as well. That looks very good. Like I said, I think that Kitty Pryde should be this stature. I think she should be this this size. And her head doesn't really fully pop on there, but you can kind of finesse it, and it does look okay on this body. Her head looks kind of big for the body, just a little bit. But here's Shana, or Shayna, however you pronounce her name, from the Kazar and the other Snaggletooth lion dude 3-pack. I can't remember these guys' name. The 3-pack that came out quite some time ago, the Savage Land 3-pack, and it doesn't really snap on the peg, but I guess you could kind of finagle it if you wanted a different look for just some random blonde chick or whatever. I tried Jubilee's head on here, and that doesn't fit at all. If you remember that that peg for that head is very small, so that won't go on here, and it probably wouldn't look right even if it did get on this body. And there's the X-Force Psylocke, and that looks ridiculous. I'm sure a lot of people were waiting to see how that looks. That's the 3-pack, the X-Force 3-pack Psylocke. That looks bad. And there's the Juggernaut Build-A-Figure Wave Jean Grey, and we all know that this head looked pretty terrible for Jean Grey, but just as some random chick, it doesn't look bad. It actually looks like it could work for another version of Mary Jane, to be honest here. I also tried the Emma Frost head from the Puck Build-A-Figure Wave, and that looked okay. Didn't sit on there as well. Better look at that. But I also tried the Hope Summers head as well, and that looked terrible. It didn't look that good. I almost forgot about her purse accessory. So this was a nice addition, although I probably could have done without the purse and would have liked if they added in some extra hands. But you know, nothing really special here. It doesn't look all of that great, and I don't really like the way it sits. Maybe I have it swung across the wrong side. Maybe I should go across the other side, but no big deal here. I did pop off her head to put this on, but I guess that wasn't really necessary. So yeah, she can kind of hold this or whatever. I'm not really a big fan of this. It's okay. So definitely not a bad 2-pack. Definitely worth a pickup. Gonna cost you about 45 bucks at ToysRus. This is a ToysRus exclusive. It is out now. It just started dropping today or the day before yesterday. I've seen it show up in New York City and Milwaukee and California and a couple of different places. So I guess the street date was today or yesterday or something like that. If you're watching this on the day that this video drops, it is May the 18th, 2017. So get out there to your ToysRus. You probably should be receiving this 2-pack this weekend if it hasn't shown up already, and get on the hunt. And like I said, I would definitely recommend this. A lot of different possibilities for displays and for A.C.B.A, and that's what this is all about, man. Having fun with your toys, opening them up, and snapping some flicks and doing your thing. So as always, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Come out and join us in the A.C.B.A Facebook group. Like us on Facebook as well. Like the fan page on Facebook, and absolutely follow the A.C.B.A Instagram at Articulated Comic Book Art. I have quite a few things that I want to get reviewed in the next couple of days. I got 3 figures from the Articulated Icons Feudal series line that I want to do next. So big shout out to the guys over at the Foosh and my man Adam for sending those over. I took a picture of them and put them up on my Instagram like last week sometime, but I just didn't get around to reviewing them. But I'm very excited to get those done next, so look out for that. And I'm talking a lot, so I'm out of here. Alright, peace.
That's crispy.